people needed parties more to engineer than to refine their will, and the parties needed leaders. This perilous logic led to two disastrous experiments in leadership theory. The Leninist version, in which the Central Committee of the Communist Party became the unelected vanguard of the proletariat, and the committee's head the effective dictator, and the fascist version, in which Il Duce or Der Führer, they like to be called leaders, summed up and commanded the nation as its incarnation. The United States was saved from these horrors by its own institutions and mores, by its Republican genius, but also by the democratic version of leadership, articulated by its leading theorist and practitioner, Woodrow Wilson, whom Father Fenton has already introduced. As a progressive, Woodrow Wilson embraced history as the story of man's gradual ascent towards greater rationality and freedom. To him, leadership was merely, or rather mostly, the story of incremental adjustments between the present and the future. The leader helped to negotiate the transitions. As an old-fashioned Darwinian, Wilson believed that there was a kind of law of history, a kind of evolutionary law of nature, which took care of most change by gradual mutations. Occasionally, however, the leader had to appear not in this harness of compromise, but as the leader of a cause who seemed to stand against his age. This is very much actually the model of Barack Obama, who is in this respect very much a kind of Wilsonian leader. This leader would see further into the future than the people could, and had to persuade them not only that change was possible, but that he knew which changes were ripe. Wilson insisted, however, that such a leader be only slightly ahead of his time. His function was not to impose an untimely theory on an unready people, as Robespierre had tried to do, but to help the people see the future before their very eyes, as it were. The Wilsonian leader had therefore to attend very carefully to the people's incipient desires or will, to sympathize with them, in order to sum up the demands the people themselves were yet unconscious of. He had to offer them a vision of the near future, to inspire them to take the next step in the nation's progress. As I say, Wilson's account of leadership helped to shape our own views of it. We tend to view it now as almost an unalloyed good thing. And we shy away from politicians like poor George H.W. Bush, who confessed he had a problem with the vision thing. But it's unclear whether our enthusiasm for visionary leaders has actually led to better public policy or higher quality statesmanship. Competing visions of the future are so many idols of the imagination, in effect competing promises to create or imagine a better future. And a political system based more on such projections will find its appetites increasingly out of alignment with reality, not to mention dignity. Need I mention that the United States has had 43 deficits in the last 48 years? By keeping the leader close to the people, to his followers, Wilson hoped to tame the demagogic potential of leadership, but at the expense of some of the grandeur that made it attractive in the first place. If the leader must commune with the people, with his followers, in order to determine where to lead them, who is leading whom exactly? Modern leadership, especially as the art of polling has become ubiquitous, often consists in telling voters, and perhaps even students, what they want to hear, reducing this supposedly charismatic gift to a scramble merely to stay in front, to be in the lead. How then to tell leaders in the making from leaders on the make? Happily, in the best cases, the desire to be a leader is merely the unlovely contemporary idiom for a healthy love of honor or natural attraction to excellence. CMC can help put these longings into a larger, bigger, and higher perspective. For there is, or at least should be, no greater balm for or such noble desires than the serious study of the liberal arts and of the excellent men and women across the ages who nailed their lives to the cross of thought